Imagine the marketplace, not of goods, but of people. The sun beats down on a crowded square. An auctioneer's voice rises above the din, not calling out prices for cattle or cloth, but for Samuel, Mary, Ruth, and Isaac. In a single day, they will be scattered across different plantations, their family torn apart by the cold arithmetic of profit. This deliberate destruction of family bonds was a tool enslavers used to control enslaved people and erase their identities. Hey folks, thank you for watching African Elements. In case we haven't met, I'm the digital avatar of Professor Darius filling in while he's busy in the classroom. This is the third video in a series on the Black family as a companion to Legacy of Survival, the dynamics of the Black family. Legacy of Survival, the dynamics of the Black family is a profound new book that takes you on a journey through the heart of African American life, exploring the intricate bonds and extraordinary resilience that have defined the Black family for generations. From the enduring ties created in the crucible of slavery to the adaptive family roles in contemporary society, Legacy of Survival reveals a powerful story of strength, love, and cultural continuity. Discover the story, honor the legacy. Legacy of Survival. The Dynamics of the Black Family is available now. Order your copy today at the link below. Let's begin at the source, the transatlantic slave trade. From the 1400s to the late 1800s, millions of Africans were captured, sold, and shipped across the Atlantic. Some were taken during wars, others were victims of European-backed raids led by groups like the Mbangala in Central Africa. Ports like Luanda in Angola and Osu in Ghana became centers of this global traffic in human lives. Imagine the stench of the holds, the cries of the chained, the weight of separation, husbands, wives, and children packed together, only to be sold apart once they reached the Americas. This system didn't just enslave individuals, it targeted the very foundation of African life, the family. By severing bonds of kinship, enslavers tried to erase identity, history, and humanity itself. But that's where resistance began, not always with swords or uprisings, but with memory, with prayer, and with the determination to stay connected even when scattered across continents. Once in the Americas, the destruction continued. At auctions, families were deliberately split up to prevent rebellion. Planters believed that breaking family bonds made enslaved people easier to control. It wasn't accidental, it was policy. A father's plea to buy me and my children together fell on deaf ears. Approximately 1/3 of enslaved children in the Upper South experienced separation from their parents through sale. Women, forced to serve both as laborers and as mothers, bore an impossible burden, nurturing children who could be sold at any time. But here's where history takes a turn. Even in this brutality, enslaved people created new forms of kinship, what we call surrogate families, or fictive kin. When mothers were sold away, other women stepped in to raise the children. When fathers were gone, other adults assumed the roles of uncles and elders to fill the void. They built community out of devastation. These were acts of quiet revolution, saying to the system, "You can take our bodies, but you cannot take our belonging." The trauma was immense and enduring. It reverberated across generations, as the disruption of family structures persisted well beyond emancipation. Yet the same history also forged something profoundly strong, a cultural resilience rooted in survival, adaptability, and love. Black families have developed cultural traditions that have helped them survive and thrive in the face of adversity. The importance of faith, community, and mutual support has been passed down through generations. So when we talk about the Black family today, we are not just talking about sociological statistics. We are talking about a lineage of people who turned suffering into structure, loss into legacy. Because even when the family was shattered, the spirit was not. This is how the family became not just emotional support, but the very engine of survival. These quiet acts of care were, in truth, acts of revolution. Women played central roles, cooking for entire quarters, raising children who weren't their own, and keeping cultural memory alive through song and story. Now think about rebellion. When Gabriel Prosser planned his uprising in 1800, it was kinship networks, brothers, cousins, trusted friends, that made it possible. The same was true for smaller acts of resistance, hiding fugitives, passing messages, or sabotaging tools.
Be ready by the river at sundown. Josiah knows the way north. Don't be late.
Every one of these acts grew out of trust, and that trust was rooted in family. Women's contributions were just as revolutionary. While men often carried out open rebellion, women sustained it, feeding insurgents, passing information, and maintaining homes when husbands and sons were taken or killed. In that sense, every black mother who held her family together under slavery was a freedom fighter. Even mourning became a form of defiance. Funerals, often forbidden by enslavers, became sacred gatherings. They were moments to honor the dead and remind the living that they were still a people. Through song, rhythm, and ritual, enslaved families affirmed a truth no law could erase. They belonged to each other and to something greater than the system that sought to destroy them. Meanwhile, the law continued to deny those bonds. Enslaved people were not legally allowed to marry. Children were property, not persons. The lack of recognition stripped away every official trace of family, but it couldn't erase the reality of love. Couples still jumped the broom to sanctify their unions, creating their own traditions in defiance of the law. Emancipation brought freedom, but not reunion. After the Civil War, countless freed people walked miles, posted ads, and combed through towns in search of loved ones lost to the trade. The Freedmen's Bureau became a beacon of hope, a place where mothers searched for children, husbands for wives, and siblings for each other. Imagine finally finding a name, a single clue that your family might still be alive somewhere in a vast hostile country. Black churches became the new anchors of family life. In them, marriages once denied by law were finally made official. Records were kept, ceremonies held, children baptized, all reclaiming what slavery had stolen. Marriage, for the newly freed, was more than love, it was liberation. It said, "You can no longer deny that we are a people, with families, with names, with roots." But freedom carried a cost. Economic hardship forced many to work on the same plantations, as sharecroppers, bound again by debt instead of chains. Rebuilding a family while fighting poverty, racism, and violence required extraordinary resilience. Some families reunited, many did not. But all carried forward the determination to keep kinship alive. That determination shaped the black family for generations. Extended families, grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, formed safety nets that countered economic and social exclusion. These networks became the backbone of black survival during Jim Crow and beyond. Even today, traces of those structures remain, in the importance of Big Mama's house, in the role of church mothers, in the collective responsibility felt within many black communities. These are not signs of weakness, they are living monuments to strength. Yet we must also confront the pain that persists. The patterns of economic inequality, mass incarceration, and single-parent households are not cultural failings. They are the lingering echoes of slavery's deliberate destruction of family. Understanding that history is essential to understanding present-day realities. And still, the resilience continues. Through art, education, and activism, black families have turned survival into triumph. Every reunion, every family photo, every church picnic is a continuation of a centuries-long act of resistance. The story that began on the auction block ends with endurance. From broken chains to rebuilt homes, from whispers in the night to shouts of freedom, the black family has never been merely a victim of history. It has been its heartbeat. So here's my question to you. How does your own family's story reflect that legacy of resilience? If this story moved you, hit that like button, hype this video, and subscribe to African Elements for more stories that center our history, our struggle, and our strength. For as little as $1 a month, you can also join the history makers in our Patreon community and get ad-free videos and exclusive content. You'll find the link in the description below. To continue the journey, check out this video here, because understanding our past is about more than looking back. It's about honoring the unbreakable bonds that brought us here.